What in the world's a keyframe? Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. My name is Charles. This is Make Movies Now, and today we're going to learn about what is keyframes, what is a keyframe, how to use a keyframe, and why you need to use keyframes in video editing. We're going to use our favorite tool today, Davinci Resolve 16.2.2, in order to help us with this tutorial. Questions, concerns, comments, please make sure to leave those in the comments section below. If you like what you see today, like the button, share the video with somebody else, and subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Make sure you get notified every time I upload content. Hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So here we are in Davinci Resolve 16.2.2. I've got a few different clips on the timeline here. For this tutorial, again, we're going to look at how to use keyframes. I'm going to show you a couple different places in Davinci Resolve using some different pages to explain what a keyframe is. Right now we're in the Edit tab, and we got our main timeline here. The top is going to be video, bottom is audio. I'm going to disable the audio here. You can disable that by just pressing D on your keyboard. So disable both of the audio clips here. And then I've got the background, which I'm going to use as me for intro, and then I got a few other items here that we're going to add on top of it. So for this tutorial, keyframes, we've got few different pictures there. I added some text as well, and then I've got a picture of Davinci Resolve, a like button, and a bell notification. And so keyframes on the edit page, you're going to find these on the right side under the inspector tab. If you don't see this when you get into the account, on the top right you'll see an inspector spot. Click on that, it'll open up the inspector. So the keyframes are important points that you want to emphasize to the tool to save that particular frame, and then later in the clip you're going to make something different with that frame. Different with the clip to show where you want something usually to be moved to or to be different from. So I'll show you a couple different ways here. The easy one here is going to be how do you size or share or move some of these items. So we'll click on these. You're going to move these around here using the transform section of the inspector tab. I didn't make any keyframes on this one because I wanted these two images to stay put. But if we go over to this other one here, Davinci Resolve, like you saw in the intro, we're going to use this and make it look as if it's bouncing. So the first piece we're going to need to do is scale it down a little bit in the inspector, go to zoom and make it smaller. The position, we're going to position it off to the left here, we're going to move it down a little bit, make it a little bit smaller. And then this is where we're going to want it to start. So we're going to select the keyframe here, and by doing that in the inspector tab, these little diamonds are the keyframes. So the two different spots that we did change, we'll continue to change, are going to be position and the zoom to make this smaller. So click on these little diamonds here to put a keyframe in, and then move a little bit along in the timeline here to a new section, new spot, and then we're going to move this object somewhere else. So you do that again by repositioning somewhere. And you can see, because of the position change, it already added a keyframe here. It's now red. I didn't change the zoom, and so this keyframe has not been highlighted yet. If you wanted to change this, make it a little bigger or smaller, you can see it already added another keyframe. So we're going to click the space bar again, go a little bit further in the timeline, space again to stop, and now we're going to change the position again in the inspector. We'll change the zoom here as well. So again, each time you make a change, these keyframes are already added. Hit the space bar to go a little bit further, and then now we're going to move this again somewhere else. There you go. So what you'll see, if you go back to the clip, keyframes are selected here at the beginning of the clip, and you click space bar, it looks as if it's animated or it's moving throughout the screen. And if you don't like where a particular keyframe is, when you have the video clicked on the right under the inspector, you can kind of scroll through where these keyframes are by using these arrow tabs. So it'll bring you to the next one, as you can see. So if you didn't like the positioning of one of them, you can change them just based on the keyframes. If you didn't like all of them and you wanted to reset them, you hit the reset button here, and this reset will reset everything in the position, but it'll keep the other ones that you've set in line. If you click the transform reset here, this will reset all the keyframes that you've selected in this whole section. So the same idea is true for this transform as it is for any of these other options that you can use within the inspector tab. Now, another option we can use is we can go into the Fusion page and do the same idea. A bit different how the keyframes will be used or shown on the Fusion tab, because you can create the Fusion, you can create the keyframes in the node, and it'll also show up along the timeline right here. So in this event, we're going to pull down one of our images here. Click 2 to see what it is. F2 is going to be to rename that. So this is our like button. This is our background. And then we're going to use a merge tool here. Click on merge, and then hold shift down and bring this over so that the colors change on the line. And then now you can connect these. Media out, click 2 to show what the output is. And so this, you can see, is obviously too big. So what we'll do is this node, the merge node, again, you see all the diamonds on the right here. So we're going to change these. We'll change the size. We're going to reposition this a little bit, just like we did before. And then we're going to hit a keyframe. So this is going to be where it'll start. Click the space bar, move it along a little bit. We're going to change this here so it moves across just like before. Smaller. So if you do a different spot, like an angle here, but you don't set a keyframe, it's actually going to save it for the rest of the clip. So if I go back here, you can see it's all the same. So you want to make sure if you change anything along the way, you set the original keyframe at the first point. So if I go back to reset here, but what I'm trying to show is that in Fusion, or on the Fusion tab, each keyframe that you add or change, it'll then also add a visual here on the timeline. So you can see there's a keyframe here, keyframe here, keyframe here. So each time you add one on the right side, you'll be able to scroll through these, but then you're also going to be able to see that on the timeline here as well. And the last piece I will show is in the color page. Go to color tab here. If we're going to want to change something when it comes to the color keyframes are in the bottom right under this section here, and you'll be able to add a keyframe, make a change, go a few more spots, make a change, go a few more spots, make a change. And so what we'll do here is we'll add this. We'll create just a polygon, so I just want my face to be shown as an example. We're going to go a few frames here. We're going to have this change just a little bit. A few more frames, have this change. A few more frames, have this change. Just to give an example. And so when you go back here to the start of the clip, each of these keyframes now are different sections in the clip that Davinci will know is important and needs to make a change to the output. So you go here, press space, you'll see that the screen is now changing around based upon the keyframes and the changes that I made. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. I hope it was helpful for you. If you like what you saw below, like the button, share the video with somebody else, comment in the comment section below, and subscribe to make sure you get notified every time I upload content. Make sure you hit the bell notification as well. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.